Good evening, Jedi Knights and Sith Lords, and welcome to the Star Wars Artifacts show. Tonight, we break down episodes 5 and 6 of The Bad Batch, and we'll have a few surprises for you guys at the end. So, without any further ado, how are you, my friend?
Uh, Good. I had the adventure of a lifetime. As a
Yeah.
lot of people know, I went off to Disney and spent a lot of money on stuff,
Yeah.
but completely worth it. It was an incredible experience, and I'm really glad that I scheduled it the way I did, and with the 2 days at Hollywood Studios to take
Mhm.
advantage of everything at Galaxy's Edge and everything. But um, we could talk a little bit more about those details in a bit, or after our breakdown. So I think we're going to do something a little different to start the show, as because I brought back a lot of stuff. I brought back so
Mhm.
much stuff I needed to have some of it shipped. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, it was just getting so I because we our plan was to go there only with carry on, and then it ended up that we needed, or I felt like I was preventing myself from shopping for a few things, and I just said, I got informed on how much it would cost to ship, and it was expensive, but I said, you know what, in the end, I'll be able to buy what I want freely, and it ended up going that way. So I have my
Well, as long
other.
as you didn't hire Han Solo because he drops his cargo at the first sight of an Imperial
Yeah.
blockade. So,
Well, yeah. So I spoke to you about it. Like, I have UPS is shipping it, and I called yesterday. Gave me two track numbers. One going to Hawaii, one going to New York, which
oh
made me a
boy,
little worried. Especially some of
not
your
very
stuff is in there,
reassuring.
and some
Yeah.
souvenirs, and then after that, I called back again today, and they gave me a third tracking number, and that one's actually coming to my address. So I'm a little bit more encouraged by that. But what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna have my kid come down in 2 seconds. We have three of the kyber crystals. Maybe you can tell us what they do.
Hey,
That's
Jackson.
Jackson right there.
Hi,
He's gonna.
Dominic.
So you can't hear Dominic, but he can hear you. So what's so special about these, Dominic, and this particular?
Yeah. So
Did you remove
those
the
are
flowers?
red kyber crystals. They come wrapped in a little container, and as some of you probably already know, it's the same uh, the same gimmick as a sports cards. So you don't know what's inside, So uh, there are four different red kyber crystals, and there is a possibility to get a fifth crystal, which is black, and it contains Supreme Leader Snoke's voice. And this crystal is like, there's a one chance out of 100 to get one. So we have three right now. They are sealed, and we're gonna open up those crystals live. Technically, two are mine, and one is Jackson's. So I'm gonna let Jackson pick one first.
Okay,
He's
Jackson,
gonna open it up.
come here. So we got three of them here,
Yeah,
and you pick one. That'll be
yours.
that'll be the one that I'm gonna put in um, my holocron. Which one? Pick one. Okay, the middle one. So
Middle one.
Okay.
we open ours first, or we open yours, Dom?
Yeah. Open yours first. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to leave the drama for the end. I think this will be more exciting. So I'll get this started.
Look, you have to do it like here.
Here?
You cut the part that there's air. Yeah,
Okay.
you cut there. You stab it in.
He's a pro. He's already opened a
Yeah,
few.
a few. I opened one and it's on my neck right now.
Yeah, he keeps his around his
Cool.
neck there.
Oh yeah, blue kyber. Do you
Yeah.
know which character
And
is
it
in it?
comes like in a little container, so you open the container.
So we
Up.
don't know
Nice.
because my holocron is for Sith only. So
Oh, okay. So you're gonna have to bring it to my place to
yeah.
check it out. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me try and get this one. We'll get it after, Jackson. These are not super easy to open.
Yeah, but you
No,
have to,
there's
like,
even a
get
little
the
plastic at the
off
end.
and then like you
Yeah.
open it
Yeah.
from the bottom area.
Okay, I think I'm making progress. Sorry.
So before you pop it out, make sure to show it to the camera so we get the reveal at the same time. If you get a black crystal, there's a little uh, piece of paper telling you that you found something very rare, very special.
Okay, Jackson, you want to
So
open it? Make sure that we can see it here.
Okay, so that's the camera there.
Yeah. So just make sure you can see it.
Okay.
What color is Dom gonna get?
Something good.
Get a higher,
Oh,
little
yeah.
higher, little higher.
higher, yeah,
Uh,
higher.
Oh,
it's a
it's
red.
the red.
It's a red. Okay.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see which character it is.
I wanted a red.
So
Plastic.
here's the second one. Dom's second one here. Here you go. Give me that, and I'll put this one away.
Oh wait, hold on. That's my cap there.
Yeah, give me that.
That's my crystal.
Let's.
Yeah, you're a crystal. You can have the crystal.
We'll worry about that stuff after. So this one is Dom's here.
I don't know.
Hold it up so people can see. Hold it up.
Yeah,
It's a
there
red.
it is.
It's another red. Oh, okay.
I got another red. There's some stuff inside.
Yeah, they just put the paper so you can't see what it is.
But
Okay.
That's Dom's.
Perhaps you'll notice
Same
there are
there.
two different cuts for
Yeah, I'll
for the
take a look.
crystals.
I'll get him to open the last one, and then he can go.
Yeah.
It'll be his time to. Here, let me get that for you.
Because I'm going to have to get back upstairs start doing finish my project.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's see if
I'm
if ours is lucky. Then Justin's gonna have to run upstairs real quick.
Yeah.
What do we get? What do we get?
Wait, you gotta flip this upside down.
Feel the force.
What color is it?
Come on. Taking out the plastic. Let's see.
It is red
Red.
again. Ah, it looks different than the other ones, eh?
Yeah, the red.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
different cuts
That's
for the
a lot
crystals.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jackson.
Thanks, Jackson.
Dominic says thanks. We'll take a look at
Hopefully
the
we'll
stuff
see you
later.
soon.
Bring this upstairs, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Good
My
night.
crystal.
Yeah, we'll look at it after, okay?
Yay.
All right.
All right. So, do you want to discover which character you got?
Sure. So this is the holocron that I got. I mean, anyone who's been following Dom's channel knows that they what it does. So you open it up. This is the one. This is the one that we just opened, so it would be technically mine.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in. It's not the default, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a default. Maybe it didn't register correctly when you put it in. Maybe put it on the other side, yeah.
The Sith killed each other.
I don't think it's correctly inserted. Maybe push the door a little rougher.
We are.
No. I'm not getting much luck with this. What the heck? There we go.
Ah, now it registered, yeah. It's closed. You need to open it.
The Jedi saw themselves as tools of
Oh, Darth
All
Vader.
right, so you've got Vader, yeah.
Okay, that was Vader.
So the other possibilities are Darth Maul, Count Dooku, and Darth Sidious or Emperor Palpatine. So
Peace comes from order, and order comes from power. The
another
weakness
Vader.
of the Jedi
Yeah,
left
looks
the
like it.
galaxy in chaos.
They look identical, so that would make sense, I guess.
Okay.
And then the last one. Let's see what we get. Hopefully, well, it's pretty loud.
Yeah.
We are.
Didn't
No.
register.
So for those who doesn't know, when the holocron is empty, we hear the voice of Darth Bane, which is voiced by Mark Hamill.
Oh, it does sound familiar, actually, his voice.
Yeah. Okay, there it should work.
That's it, young one. Use your anger. Use your pain.
that
Let
Maul?
it kill you.
That's Darth Maul, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So that's not the voice of Ray Park. It's the voice of
No,
Sam
yeah.
Witwer from the Rebel series. So his voices are pretty cool.
So put these over here. This is the Vader, and so we'll come back to the other stuff that I
Yeah.
got and everything else in the end. There's a couple things I wanted to show, things I brought back, but let's go on and move on to the presentation. So
Yeah.
overall, I mean, I was pretty satisfied with the episodes. I mean, not much development in the storyline, I guess, overall, but like good, I think, decent episodes. So the first one was called Entombed.
Yeah.
So I'll let you get started on that one. So
Yeah, so that's a 29-minute episode with the end credits. And we begin with Wrecker and Omega searching a junkyard for a spare compressor. Wrecker retrieves a compressor from the wreckage of a LAT gunship, while Omega finds an oval and ball-shaped object. Meanwhile, we meet with Fee Genoa. It's been a few episodes since we didn't see her, so it felt good to see her again. And she recounts the stories from her past in the presence of the Ithurian Bolo. That's the hammerhead guy who looks exactly like the Kenner action figure we had growing up.
yeah,
And the weak way catch. So Echo, Hunter, and Tech are also there sitting at the bar. And Tech notices that Genoa keeps changing her story every time she tells it. So it's pretty
so,
funny.
yeah, questioning the credibility of her stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrecker returns with the compressor, and then Omega shows the relic. If he recognizes one of the objects as a compass with coordinate markings, she gets her droid Mel to shine light on the object, which she recognizes as coordinates for Kaldar Trinary system. The tech remarks that the system is uncharted, and prompting Genoa to respond that the best treasures are often off-grid. Omega is excited about the prospect of a treasure hunt, but Hunter is skeptical. Genoa offers to split the treasure find by half with the Bad Batch. So
The clones and Genoa travel aboard the Marauder. Genoa ingratiates herself with Omega, claiming that she has traveled to countless uncharted worlds, while Mel keeps track of their adventures. Hunter believes she is a pirate, but Genoa styles herself as a liberator of ancient treasures.
So
So there's a little nuance in her way she sees herself.
upon landing, the Bad Batch and Genoa discover that their destination is a scorched, lifeless world with charred vegetation. And then the compass begins buzzing. An echo leads the group, including Mel, south. The coordinates take them to a dead end in a barren forest at the base of a mountain. And Genoa believes that the compass is telling him to go inside. And with Wrecker's help, they discover a secret entrance. And as they enter, they are being watched by a fanged reptilian creature.
And once they get inside, the treasure hunters discover etchings, which Genoa recognizes. When Wrecker queries, she explains that the legend of Scaranal predates the Jedi and that a treasure known as the Heart of the Mountain lies inside. Genoa explains that the etchings are a pattern that they need to align the symbol, sorry, in order to get the right order. So Wrecker helps Genoa move a beam, which causes a circular floor pattern to descend. A large ball of rocks seals the entrance, tracking them inside. And this obviously upsets Hunter.
So Omega realizes that that they have misaligned the symbols using the compass. She realizes some of the symbols are marked in purple, and Genoa gets Omega to put the compass on her lamp, which enables the clones to see the symbols better. Working together, they realign them, and open the doorway. Genoa gets Mel to wait outside while she enters a tunnel with the clones, and Genoa explains that the heart of the mountain is a rare crystalline stone, which is key to the ancient power.
Yeah, so this is practically the moment where I began having like Indiana Jones vibes,
Yeah,
the music, it sounded like when they were manipulating the last arc, the typical John Williams style. Pa, pa, pa. It felt pretty Jonesy for me, so I really dig that. And,
it had yeah, I agree, and also like for me, like playing games, and even as far as the Jedi Fallen Order goes, it's
mhm.
much more emulating um, that style of play is more like a, I guess, a Uncharted, Indiana Jones slash Tomb Raider type game, right? Like
Yeah, puzzle
and yeah,
solving.
exactly. So it's climbing and doing that, and I definitely saw that where you're rotating these things and trying to come up with the puzzle. So it really already had that vibe at this point of the show already. So it kind of
Yeah,
it set the tone for what was to come in the next minutes, I guess.
yeah. So tech reports that is analysis of the minerals in the stone slab show that they predate the Galactic Republic. It thinks that Fee has uncovered something, but before they can continue, the group is attacked by a large fanged monster, which grabs Wrecker. The clones fight back and free Wrecker, but the retreating monster dislodges several rocks, which separate Echo, Tech, and Wrecker from Hunter, Omega, and Genoa. So Echo tells Omega that they are safe with his comlink, but that he's unable to penetrate the rockfall.
So Tech reports that there are several adjacent tunnels and proposes using them to rendezvous with Genoa and the others. Genoa says they will continue looking for treasure and reassures Hunter and Omega that the others will be fine. Hunter leads the group through a tunnel. Genoa and Omega spot some more markings above the tunnel and try to warn Hunter, but he falls into a hole. But using his grappling cable, he was able to pull himself back up.
Yeah, so that's the second moment. I got some Indiana Jones vibe because it
Yeah,
felt like, the scene in the Last Crusade when he needs to spell, I think it's Jehovah, on the floor, and Indy almost falls through a hole. So it was pretty reminiscent of that scene.
yeah.
So, but Omega is pretty clever, and she thinks that they need to find a way to walk across the ceiling. But obviously, Hunter is skeptical about continuing the treasure hunt. But is kind of relaxed. She's seen other puzzles before. She's up to the task, and she says it reminds her of a former quest. So while the adults discuss the quest, Omega finds that her compass fits into the lock, which causes the circular tunnel to rotate to form a bridge. Omega determines that the bridge to be safe to cross, but she is unable to retrieve the compass. Fee explains that Scaranal has reclaimed it. Hunter grumbles about having to navigate the tunnels without the compass, but Genoa reassures him. So.
So meanwhile, Tech finds something is interfering with the scanner, and Wrecker senses movement, but Echo thinks it's in his head. They soon reunite with Omega, Hunter, and Genoa outside the circular vault door. Genoa unlocks the door, which opens to a deep vault where the heart of the mountain lies. Genoa walks over to the stone structures and retrieves a diamond. However, removing the heart of the mountain triggers the structure's security mechanism, which shields the entrance.
And outside, we can see a bright beam of light explode from the mountain. Mel flees as a giant saurian-shaped machine emerges from the mountain. The clones and Genoa find that the treasure vault is actually a giant war machine that emits a high amount of energy. So this is the moment where we get rid of the Indiana Jones vibe, and we get more vibe like Pacific Rim meets Godzilla.
Yeah, especially even the sound and the beam was like you said, Godzilla, War of the Worlds kind of thing. It was just it definitely had that vibe, especially the way it kind of came out of the ground, like in War of the Worlds as well. Like this thing
Yeah.
that came to mind when I saw that.
So Tech proposes returning the Art of the Mountain to its proper place in order to deactivate the machine. Genoa is unwilling to give up a valuable treasure, but Hunter counters that if the machine destroys their ship, they will be trapped on the planet, which is kind of a pretty good argument, I guess. Um, Genoa agrees, but warns that they owe her a debt for the treasure's loss.
So the Fang monsters break into the command center and causing the heart of the mountain to fall down a hole, and Genoa heads down to retrieve it. While the Bad Batch fights the monster, Genoa almost falls out of the giant machine, but Hunter pulls her to safety. The giant machine unleashes a blast of energy that scorches the surrounding landscape. Mel tries to flee, but he's incinerated by the beam. You don't really see droids get destroyed like that much, eh? Like like they're usually like little cute, but that was the end of that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
When Omega shoots a window open and Wrecker hurls out the beast.
So Tech tries to regain control of the machine before it can turn its beam onto the Marauder. Hunter passes Tech and Omega, the heart of the mountain, causing the machine to shut down. The stone also melts, triggering a self destruct mechanism. The clones and Genoa cling to safety as the machine crashes onto the hill. Following their escape, Tech remarks that this adventure puts them 2-0 for treasure hunting. Pretty fun. Omega tells them that they did find the heart of the mountain, proving that the legend was true.
That's a good point. I mean, that was the question and doubting her. I guess like early, like how her stories kept changing. That she probably just full of baloney. But like in the end, there was some truth behind what they did. And it wasn't for nothing, but obviously they didn't come out with what they wanted. So while heading back to the ship, Hunter remarks that at least nobody can use the weapon again. Omega apologizes for the loss of Mel, but Genoa reassures her that she has stored Mel's memory on the ship's data bank. I guess it doesn't matter about the droid as long as his memory is safe.
Yeah, sure.
It's okay. I got my USB drive. Is fine, and so it doesn't matter about the rest of it. So she hopes to have Mel rebuilt before they head to Vatnia. But I guess, I mean, if the memory's there, so would be the personality, I guess, that would come with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. When Omega queries, Genoa claims that she has led on an ancient chalice that once belonged to the kingdom of Elways. Hunter is skeptical about embarking on another tour, but Omega is mesmerized, and the clones and Genoa depart on the Marauder. So,
Another wing to Indiana Jones with the chalice,
yeah,
making us think about the Holy Grail. So
it's funny though because I don't know. I find that like they're trying to show that um, Omega is more and more independent. She's got her own personality, and a couple times even in the next episode, they're less worried about her. She's really part of
yeah,
the group when she's fighting and she can handle herself. So and you can see she's curious. I mean, obviously she's curious. She was on Camino, I guess, her whole life, and
yeah.
but like she's more adventurous than the other ones. Are a little bit more conservative, especially Hunter, right? So more
Hmm.
calculated, and so what do you
More
think of that
tactical.
episode overall? I mean, like you
Well,
said the vibe of Indiana Jones, but I mean,
I don't think it brought the story of the batch further. But it was the fun adventure of the day, I guess.
yeah,
Puzzle solving, um, the ancients that Fee is referring to. I was wondering, maybe you got the same impression too, but it kept reminding me of the Zepho that we saw in Fallen Order. So if we look at the head of the mech, it looks like the head of a Zepho, and it's pretty, and all the like the way that the shapes are inside the tunnel and everything. I got a lot of vibes from the Zepho, but unfortunately, we never got an official confirmation that it was indeed ancient technology that dated the era of the Zepho. So
yeah, it's definitely got
uh,
a weird mechanic creature looking, and again, playing some games and thinking of StarCraft, it got the Protoss look to him, right? Like like
yeah,
it's got a very slick, I guess more advanced technology look to it, right? Less of a clunker. Um,
and I guess that we have yet to see them in our replay of Fallen Order, but when we entered the temple of the Zepho, where we left the game, we saw like sentries, like giant robots, and they shoot a beam from their chests.
hmm,
That reminds me a little bit of what we see from that giant monster. So
yeah.
that's another the thing that reminded me of the Zepho. So
Well, we'll see it
and
on
the
our
Zepho were
play.
there before the Jedi, and Fee said that the technology dated way before the Jedi. So
Yeah.
hopefully, Dave Filoni will provide us some answers at some point, and that episode will, what we saw on that episode will come back later, and we'll learn more about those ancient sentient being that we heard about in this episode. So
So let's move on to the next one, which was
yeah,
called Tribe. Let you get started on that one.
I definitely liked more that episode,
Yes, me
but
too.
uh, I guess we'll keep it for the for the end of the breakdown. But the Bad Batch travel to a space station that looks pretty cool. It's called the Vanguard Axis, with the intent of selling forged chain codes. So in season one, we saw that Tech was able to forge chain codes to allow them to escape a planet, and now he's making maybe a little business out of his
So it's like he's selling
skills.
burnt CDs now, like in the old days.
Yeah. So, since the safe station has a reputation for smuggling, Hunter tasks Echo and Omega with guarding the ship, while others proceed with their mission. A droid ushers Hunter and the others into a meeting with a droid known as the Axis Leader, who wants to check the authenticity of the chain codes. So Tech vouches for his work, but the Axis Leader does not trust him and order his droids to check each one of them.
Meanwhile, Omega tells Echo that she's uncomfortable about the station. Echo agrees and begins preparing for the ship for departure. And in the distance, Omega hears a Wookiee roar and departs to investigate. Um, Venturing deeper into the space age, she witnesses two droids beating on a young Wookiee with electro staffs. And Omega protests, and one of the droids tells her not to interfere with Vanguard's Axis business.
Yeah, so as soon as I heard a Wookiee screaming, having watched the trailer, I kind of knew that my boy Gungi was about to show up, and that's the moment I kind of got pretty excited to watch the rest of the episode. So we'll talk a little bit more about him in a few, but this distractions enables the Wookiee to grab one of the droid's electro staff and disable it, with Omega shooting the other droid with her energy bow. The Wookiee bows in gratitude, uh, and the two flee as more droids arrive to investigate the disturbance. Then Echo finds Omega, and the Wookiee initially regards the former clone trooper as a threat until Omega convinces him otherwise.
Meanwhile, the Axis leader suspends his negotiations. Yeah, I guess he gets communicated, I think, by comm that something's
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
And Tech believes either Omega or Echo are involved because most likely Omega, I think, at that point is what he says. Uh, and then the Axis leader and his droids confront Omega, Echo, and the Wookiee, who have formed a barricade with crates. And Hunter and the other clones arrive, encircling the droids from behind, and Axis tells the clones to leave, but Omega is unwilling to let them hurt the Wookiee.
Yeah, so the Axis leader responds that the Wookiee is valuable to their buyer alive. Hunter is opposed to smuggling living beings, but the droid leader doesn't care. While the Axis leader is distracted, the Wookiee uses the Force to retrieve his lightsaber from the Axis leader's belt. So the Wookiee draws his lightsaber and attacks the droids, resulting in a firefight. The Bad Batch helps him escape, and the droids and they flee aboard the Marauder. So
So just to pause there, I mean, obviously he talks about how valuable he is, and he's the one that had the lightsaber in his belt, right? So
yeah,
obviously they're aware, and just the question is like, where are they bringing him, right? Like at this point, so
yeah. Who is that mysterious buyer, right?
yeah,
Unfortunately, we do not get to know.
no,
Was it the Sith Inquisitors? Was it somebody else? Was it the Crimson Dawn?
yeah.
Who was it? We don't know yet. So
So after jumping into hyperspace, Omega asks why the Wookiee is sitting alone by the corner, and Hunter explains that the Wookiee is probably scared. Omega offers to share some rations, but the Wookiee is distrustful due to the experience with the clones during the Great Jedi Purge. Hunter reassures the Wookiee that they are not like the other clones and did not follow Order 66 or serve the Galactic Empire. With Omega's encouragement, the Wookiee helps himself to the rations. And after Omega introduces herself, Hunter learns that the Wookiee's name is... Was it Gungi or Gunji, I think?
it's Ganji.
Okay, Gunji.
Yeah.
That's what I remembered. Okay.
So Tech learns that Ganji was trying to return to his home world of Kashyyyk, which justify my T-shirt tonight. Uh, after Order 66, when he was captured by the smuggling droids, Omega suggests that they could help return him to his home world. Wrecker agrees, saying that they haven't traveled to Kashyyyk for a while. This is a little wink to a dark from the Clone War that was discarded, where they were having a battle on Kashyyyk. So It's like, we know that we were supposed to do an arc, and we're giving you a little wink
Yeah.
if you already know that detail. So that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
And then, well, Echo warns that the Empire could have established outposts there, and Hunter responds that Jedi are not safe anywhere. So it doesn't matter wherever they go, they will never be safe.
The Bad Batch travel to Kashyyyk aboard the Marauder with the intent of bringing Gunji to the village, where they believe the Wookiees will shelter him. However, Echo detects smoke and deforestation around the area. Hunter advises Gunji to hide his lightsaber to avoid drawing attention. While walking through the jungle, Omega learns that Gunji left Kashyyyk when he was young, only remembering the planet in his dreams. The clones and Gunji travel through a web and find themselves in it's a Kinrath's nest. Is that
Yeah.
Kinrath?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember seeing these in the past. At first, when I was kind of
Me
reminded
neither.
of the ones in episode in the Attack of the Clones.
Rem-
Remember in the ring there, that the big kind of
oh,
coliseum,
true.
but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not that. After looking
No,
through the
it's in a
screenshots,
clay,
yeah,
if
but
my
it had
memory
that
is right.
same kind of like walking and but I mean, there's a
True.
bunch of creatures like that. So Gunji convinces the Arachnid Kinras that the clones do not pose a threat and give them passage through their territory. So as long as putting away their weapons, and not showing any kind of threat, they'll be left alone, which comes back in the end, right? So
Yeah, true. So it's our third species of spiders that we see. That there's the clay you were referring to.
yeah,
There's no, it's our fourth. There are the white spiders we see in Rebels. There are the spiders we see in the
Mando,
Mandalorian in
yeah,
the ice
those are a
cave.
lot more spider looking than the other ones. I find like
Yeah, and those ones now. So
these resemble less spiders, but have more of the attributes of like in terms of webbing and stuff like that, right? So it's
mhm, it's a great mix.
yeah.
So continuing their journey, they reach a valley ringed by mountains. When they reach the village, they discover that the Empire incinerated the entire village with tanks. Ganji grieves over the loss of the Wookiee village, and Omega tells Ganji that they also lost their own and promises to help him find his people. So, just taking a few minutes to say hi to everybody in the chat. So we have James saying hi. We have Marika, uh, and then we have Mr. JB who says hi everyone. Hi, Mr. JB, and JB Collection. I don't know if it's the same individual, but hello to everybody on the chat. So if you have any questions while we break the episodes down, feel free to ask them, and we'll answer the questions the best we can. So where was I? Oh yeah, on Turin Tech, discover several Trandoshans armed with Imperial supplied tanks that turn out to be repurposed armored assault tanks, or AATs. The Trandoshans also have a Wookiee as a hostage.
So that Trandoshan leader informs Commander Venamore that they have found more carved stones. Venamore gives the order to destroy them. The captive Wookiee protests, but is whipped by his captors. An enraged Gunji confronts the Trandoshan invaders with his lightsaber, obviously exposing himself as at this point as being a Jedi. And he strikes down one of them and frees the Wookiee captive. The Bad Batch join the fight, and Wrecker takes out two Trandoshans riding on the tank, while Omega and Gunji join forces to take out the tank driver. Gunji damages the tank repulsor lift systems with Hunter, while Hunter knocks out the second tank crew. So I mean, at this point, this one was all a little bit more action based than the previous episode. So we'll try to like leave some of the action for you to look at or watch yourself. So
Yeah. So following the skirmish, the clones and Ganji work together to stop the flames from spreading by digging up soil. Later, several armed Wookiees warrior arrived on Malaya. I guess it's pronounced Malaya or Malaya, and I'm not
yeah,
sure. These Wookiees bring the clones and Ganji to their village, where they meet the female Wookiee chief Yana. Hunter explains that they are trying to return Ganji to his family, but don't know which village he is from. Hunter explains that the Bad Batch are former Republic soldiers who don't support the Empire. He tells Yana that they came to help Ganji because he is a child who is in trouble.
Meanwhile, Commander Venomore arrives with more Trandoshans and a contingent of clone troopers. And after finding lightsaber marks on the damaged tank, they deduce that a Jedi was involved. And Venomore tells the clone officer to delay reporting a Jedi and promises his Trandoshan followers 100 Wookiee pelts to whoever finds the Jedi.
So, at Yana's village, the Wookiee warrior whom Ganji rescued offers the clones drinks. Omega learns from Hunger that Yana has agreed to let Ganji stay with them, which is pretty cool. Obviously, Hunter also learns that the Empire has been using their Trandoshan allies to strip Kashyk's resources, and that many Wookiees villagers uh, have fled deeper in the jungle. So you start to see the Empire, getting ground on Kashyyyk, and maybe bringing things up to the way we find them out to be in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
With Saw Gerrera being there, and his partisans and stuff like that. So
Uh,
it's cool to put the pieces together. When you play the games, watch the animated show and the
yeah,
series.
it
It's
fills
kind
all
of
the gaps that are left behind, and I mean, it makes a
yeah,
lot for someone to watch if they really want to get everything. But I mean,
yeah.
for anyone who's seen the movies and seen the whether all be the main films or the series, and like to have this fill in the gaps and give additional content to those people, I think it's good. There's a lot more, I think, casual fans that will just watch the films and that's it, right? So
Hmm.
it's fun because there's something for always something for everyone. So tech reports that Yana's scout have reported a large convoy heading into their direction. Translates her message that they should leave. Echo refuses to abandon their Wookiee allies, and Hunter tells Gunchi that they will stay and help him fight the Imperial Trandoshan invaders. Sorry, that was you.
So yeah, so as we see on that pictures, the Wookiees pray beneath the roots of a Roshire tree. Um, Tech explains that the Wookiees believe that Kashyyyk belongs to the trees and that they are their allies. Hunter says the Wookiees need all of the allies they can get, and I guess he's right. Ganji explains that the trees have a plan.
Then later, this is where a lot of the action takes it. I guess the war between the Trandoshans and the clone troopers and the involving the Wookiees and all that stuff. So, um, I don't think it's worth getting into every little detail here, but I mean, good action sequence, and I'll let everyone, I guess, watch it for themselves. But in the end, what we end up with is
Yeah, we see that Venomar realizes that Ganji is a Jedi, so he attacks him with a flamethrower.
yeah.
Wounding one of his own troops, actually, and he before he gets to have his proper fight with uh, with the Trandoshan leader. No, he drags him further in the jungles. So
And then our
I'll ask you.
little friends over here. So three
He
Kinrath
gets
attack the captor, Venomore, dragging him back to their nest. So this was a little creepy to me that coming down like that, and he's trying to fight them off, but they pull him away in a web. Like it's a little bit gloomy. Well, I guess if you're especially if you're arachnophobic, knowing that this guy is just going to become somebody's meal at this point.
yeah.
But before that, I mean, he had obviously he put his lightsaber away because they came down, and he refused, and he continued battle with them. So they attacked him. They were I guess attracted to his standoffish behavior, and that was the end of him. So
So Trandoshans are known to be hunters, right? So that we get a reverse role. So the hunter becomes the hunted, and
Yeah, it was a little
I
bit
don't
disturbing.
I'm not very knowledgeable with Kinrath spiders, but I don't know if there's like a queen, like a bigger one, and maybe it's gonna be the main course of a feast in the honor of their victory over the,
Yeah.
the bad guys. But yeah, hopefully kids won't have too many nightmares
Well, they won't read too much
about
into
that.
it. We know what's gonna happen to him, so I mean, maybe the kids
Yeah.
will just think, oh, they grabbed him and that's it, right? So
So if your parents, maybe just spare them the details.
yeah,
So the clones and the Wookiees then work together to clear Venomor's fire with shovels, and by morning they have stopped the fire. And back at Yena's village, Wrecker and Echo drink liquor with the Wookiees warrior, while Gunji and Omega meditate under a Roshire tree, which made me wonder if they're giving us some hints that Omega could be force sensitive.
mm,
I'm
I
not
hope not.
sure.
I hope not. I
Yeah,
admit, I not that I don't like her, but like, I mean, at one point, everyone's gonna be force sensitive, right? And I don't know.
true. Yeah, I just hope she's the regular girl.
Yeah,
The last of Django's clones, and
yeah,
that's it. So um, let's keep our fingers crossed. Um, Diana responds that the trees celebrate when one of their kind returns and hopes that they will someday find a new path. Path being the word or the term used in the Kenobi series for a way to help Jedi escape. So I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing too much into this, but I thought it was interesting choice of word. Hunter hopes that this path is far away from war. So obviously, kids should not be, constantly involved in fights and you know, in war in general. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
So, what do you think of overall that episode? I mean, didn't have any kind of like reference points like me, like thinking back of like Indiana Jones with the previous episode, but I thought on its
No,
own it was as a standalone episode it was pretty good.
yeah, because I kind of liked the gathering arc from the Clone Wars because I'm a huge kyber crystal guy. I collect them. I'm working on a video right now for our artisans who make customs kyber crystals. So it's gonna be pretty cool to see that. And during that arc, they go on a quest on Ilum to find their own kyber crystal, and then in the following episode, they go back on their ship and they build their own saber. And I always thought that Ganji had the coolest out of the young Padawans. So I actually said to someone at the beginning of the week that I thought that Ganji had the coolest saber that has yet to be made or sold at Galaxy's Edge, because it's all made of wood and a little bit of metal, so it looks very cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I got a good
So
shot of it in the screenshots.
the beginning maybe when he pulls it up from the
Yeah,
droids maybe, but
because you could see it when it's in the belt.
mhm,
Um, but I mean, I guess I'd have to go back and check. But let me see if I can just find it here real quick.
that should be pretty close to it. Uh,
No, he's always got his hands on
no,
top, I think.
it's pulling it off and then he has his hand over it. Yeah. So yeah, so that was a pretty interesting story. Most of us already know that Wookiees and Trandoshans are longtime arch enemies, so they hate each other's guts. Trandoshans sometimes wear Wookiee pelts on them as war trophies. So yeah, it's pretty. It gets pretty intense between them. We saw, I think it's in the book of Boba Fett. There's a Trandoshan that brings a Wookiee pelt to Boba as a sign of respect, so
Mm-hmm.
or as an offering. So, and we even hear Venamore telling his peers that if they capture the Wookiee, the Jedi Wookiee, that he's going to give them 100 Wookiee pelts.
It's kind of disturbing to
So
think of where they're gonna come from, but yeah, it's
yeah, obviously, yeah. So
give two
uh,
people, Ride Daddy and Relevant Studios, that say hi.
hey, hi Ryan, nice to see you there. And Relevant Studio is my good friend Steve. So good to see you guys are watching the show. So the Empire, they're clever. They use the knowledge that the Chandoshans and the Wookiees, have a love hate, well, no, have a hate relationship. No, there's no love between them, and they know that if they can hire the Chandoshans, they're gonna do the dirty job for them. So that's pretty clever from the Empire, So I thought it was interesting to witness that in that episode, and it also gave me some First Nation vibes. Witnessing the Wookiees and seeing how close they are to nature and how they respect all living forms. It reminded me a little bit of the first episodes of the Tales of the Jedi series, where we see that the Togruta, especially Ahsoka's mother, she's telling him to respect every life forms and stuff like that. So it gave me a lot of First Nation vibes. So it was pretty interesting. And one pretty small detail that I noticed is that it was the first time that we were seeing a lightsaber in the Bad Batch since episode 1 of season 1, where we saw Depa Bilaba and Caleb Doom at the opening of the show. So
Hmm.
it was pretty cool to finally get a lightsaber in
It's
action
funny. I
in
had
the
kind of
series.
noticed that I didn't remember seeing one recently, but I mean, not to go that far back. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite moment, Eric, of the two episodes?
Um, I like I think I like the Indiana Jones kind of part of it. I think it was a little different than what we've seen in the past, and I had that again, that little video game feel. Maybe I'm still in that Fallen Order, which by the
Mm-hmm.
way has been delayed. The sequel has been delayed by
Yeah,
4 weeks now. I think it's April 28th or something. It's
I think
released.
that's it. Yeah.
But I'm always on board with, like, I'd rather they take out a game that's much more well refined than something that they know is going to be buggy, that they're going to have day one
Yeah.
patches, and then so I'm more than fine with that delay. But yeah, I think that part of it was just cool to, and having come back again from Disney and having seen the Indiana Jones thing, I think it was still a little bit in that mindset. I watched the that
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones stunt show that they had there, so. And I've always been a fan of the movies, so I don't know. I think maybe they had a little bit of a nostalgic feel to it that I enjoyed. So
Yeah. And well, speaking of Fallen Order, I mean, since we're planning to play the game live on our streams, I guess it's a good thing because the delay will give us the time to see all 8 episodes of The Mandalorian.
yeah,
So we'll be able to do all our breakdowns. And then, where at the exact moment where there was supposed to be like a downtime, we'll get Fallen Order and we'll start streaming the
yeah.
game of Fallen Order.
So
And we will also get Visions. We finally got the release date for Volume 2 of Visions today, actually. So it's going to be right in time for May the 4th, be with you.
yeah,
So it's going to be pretty cool to see all the new episodes. I kind of enjoyed the Volume 1. It's not. I don't think they are canon stories, but I thought it was good entertainment, and
it's
I
unique.
grew up watching Japanese animes.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I'm
not
sure
for
you
it's
too.
not for
You
everyone. It's a
yeah.
unique and acquired taste. I got through the episodes, but I mean, a lot of hit or miss.
Yeah, some
But
of them were very good, and other were like very bad.
yeah,
So
yeah, it was weird. But overall, I mean, it's just Star Wars, and it's fun to watch something different. Try them to branch out and be a little bit more creative. But I don't know.
the
I was on the
Rodan
fence.
episode was without a doubt the best one, I think. I
It
don't
was
know
the
for you,
first one,
but
wasn't it?
yeah, the
Yeah,
black and white
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good one. I kind of liked also the one where there's like a Jedi undercover as the lead singer of a band.
Yeah, that one I
I
wasn't crazy
liked the
about.
animation style.
Yeah, that's about
The
where it
graphics were
stopped.
good.
This, yeah, the
Yeah,
story itself was, I don't know. It was all right. Did you want to show real quick some of the things that?
the stuff you got. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
So in the meantime, I'll actually put in a little bit of a background that I put on here. But
yeah. So sporting your 501st shirt
yeah,
with a Star Wars artifact T-shirt. That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So there's just some of the little pictures and little videos that I took while I was there. So I mean, everyone who's been on YouTube has seen these. I don't know how many times, depending on whether or not you wanted to see them or not. I tried to stay away from it as much as I can. This is the droid building station. So they got those little baskets there that they went and picked out their parts and the conveyor belts, and then
Great.
building the lightsabers. So the droids. So they built the droids and the lightsabers. Here, there's a little space outside where they get to go and try them out once they finish building
Wow.
them. This was Jackson standing up to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren asked me if he would join the dark side, and Jackson, without hesitation, said yes. So,
Haha.
without hesitation, you don't see Kylo there too well, but he welcomed him and then walked away. They don't really stop and take pictures that much, but I mean, they got to stay in their character. A few more pictures and videos that I took along the way. This is always incredible when the bay doors, like the
Yeah,
doors open to
I've
that
seen
ship.
that shot maybe 2,000 times, and
Yeah, yeah.
I still get impressed every time I see it.
This at night when I went back. I tried. So I mean, and I ended up doing Rise of Resistance 5 times. So
Wow.
I wanted to get to the point where I was sick of it. I wasn't sick of it, but I had done I had kind of memorized it by the fifth time. Just a few more shots going on here, but yeah. So overall, the trip was really good. The kids, as you can see here, they got to
Chewie.
partake in the little training exercise. I forget her name. The girl that's
The,
there.
the one with the orange jacket?
Yeah.
That's Vi Moradi.
Okay. So they got that little training program. So there's different things. There's one that Ray will try to and welcome them to the resistance, and then there's this
Yeah,
little
yeah, with
training.
the famous quote like ignite the spark,
Yeah.
light the fire,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
That's right.
vice versa.
So I saw, I think, 4 different rays. Usually they look pretty good. They look a lot like very similar to the actress. One of them that I saw was like almost identical, the same smile and
Wow.
everything. And another one was pretty far from what I would have expected. I was maybe she's like the last one they hired because she didn't really look anything like her.
Okay.
She really looked like a cosplayer compared to the other ones, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they all do a good job. They have the lingo down and everything, and as everyone knows, once you're there, you're in another world. Everyone talks to you, bright suns and all this stuff. Different lingo
Rising
and everything
moons.
like that.
Yeah.
So,
Tell
um,
the spire when you leave.
yeah, it's just unbelievable. So, I mean, there's just a fraction of what what I could see or that another part of Rise of the Resistance. But we had a really good time. We went there twice. This is in the cantina, one of the drinks.
Wow.
So it had dry ice and bubbling. I guess it was a little kind of mechanism. This is when I walked into the cantina here. So I went the first time to Hollywood Studios, and I thought that I'd missed a lot because I watched the documentary that's on Disney Plus. I'd stayed away from that documentary, so I didn't spoil anything. But when I watched, there's a few things that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done that. And I went back and I did a couple things. So for me, 2 visits was enough. Anything like that is just to spoil myself. I think I spent 80% of my time when I was at Hollywood Studios in Galaxy's Edge. So on that
Yeah.
tour there. So just a great experience for everyone in the family. So I did bring back a couple things. So first one I'll show here. This is my son Jackson. He built a lightsaber and obviously going towards the dark side.
Yeah,
Um,
put yourself in the big picture so you can see it
yeah,
better.
Dom, I'm not sure if you want to give the names of what these the lightsaber is called.
Yeah, that's a power and control generation two lightsaber. So, like a week before you left for Galaxy's Edge, at least on Batu East, they changed all the Savage Workshop pieces, and you know when you send me your pictures through a messenger, I guess we saw that they already had two of the new teams. And I think the last day you were there, they also changed the protection and defense team, and they put the new version. So
And
as you saw, the power control one is now a lot more black. It features like little horns or spike or
yeah, so
claws. I don't know if you
that
want to
that's an
call it.
additional piece here that like if you go, I mean, I'll let you give more of the details in your review, but you won't get to put this on when you're doing the
The
actual build.
activity, the
Yeah,
building the saber. Yeah,
they'll give it to you at the end. You'll actually get two pieces that are like this instead, and then they'll let you switch or closer to this, and they'll let you switch when you leave. So
yeah, because it doesn't fit in the blade chamber when they insert
the
the
finale of
saber.
the yeah.
Yeah, before you light up, your saber, the piece is just too big. So uh, I guess they should have thought about that detail a little bit longer. But
Here
I
is
don't know. It's not too bad. It doesn't spoil the experience at all.
and this one is the one you had me build for you.
Yeah. So I got all four previous teams, Generation 1, and now I need to start to acquire the new scrap metal, they called it. So
Yeah, scrap metal.
uh, I
That's
had
that was an
I had you build
adventure.
the yeah I had you build my first one. So it's a Peace and Justice. So those were I thought that the pieces looked the better. I like the because if you look at the gold button in the middle, is the exact same thing as the pin that you receive when you build the saber.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot the see through at the emitter portion. So I thought it's gonna be
So
pretty
this
interesting
looks
to.
super well aligned, but it was a
Yeah. So
major
you had an adventure
major
making
headache.
them align, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I had built it, and then when I first built it, this is the one I participated in. This part here was not aligning with this part; it was way offset, and even this part up here wasn't really aligned. So I basically had a bar that was like going across, and then again this piece was off to the side. And I told the guy, I said, um, "Is it normal that these, like it's not lining up?" And he essentially told me, "Well, staying in character. Well, these are scrap. It's scrap metal. It's very hard to." And I'm just like in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, but dude, I'm paying 250 US for this. Like, don't come and talk to me about scrap metal here." But yeah,
True.
so anyway, overall, a lot of messing around. I'm devastated that you're gonna have to take it apart to uh, for your review, but I'm gonna let you deal with realigning it afterwards.
Yeah,
Um,
because Eric has such a hard time making sure that they lined up, and I broke the news to him like last night that I'm gonna have to unscrew all the pieces and assemble it in front of the camera for my review. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see if I have the same difficulties as Eric had at his hotel room.
so
Hopefully not.
you guys will have a little bit of a premiere. I told uh, Dom that I got him a gift, a bit of a souvenir from myself as a gift for him, and it was Nick that helped me pick out what to get because I when I'm there,
Ah,
I'm like, well, he has everything. It's hard to tell. I even asked one of the
it's
cast
true.
members. I said, "What is it that you guys just got that I know that this way I would know that you don't have it."
Mm.
So, and coincidentally, I would have wanted something like this, but they didn't have it. I had spoken to you about it. But this is the little surprise that I got for you.
Ah, the wooden stormtrooper.
Yeah, so they have the Mandalorian, I think that Boba Fett, and the wooden stormtrooper. So it's a smaller version of the other ones that they have. It's got a nice base on
Yeah.
it and everything. So anyway, it's a good if you want to start the little collection or continue your collection. It's funny, someone had gone there and posed them in all these funny positions. You could almost do any kind of like thing with them. But yeah, I thought it was thanks to Nick. He says that he probably doesn't have the little wooden figurines, so that's what I chose as a souvenir for you. For
Well,
that
thank
trip.
you so much, bro. That's
No
really
problem.
good attention. I made you brought so many things. You didn't have to bring me
No,
something
that was small. I
in
made sure it
addition,
could fit in the baggage. It was very easy and it's very flexible too, so I can go with the clothes and all that stuff. The only
Well,
thing
I
I was
already
kind of sad that they didn't have was the big wooden stormtrooper. I remember talking to you before I left, and you said that you
the
thought
one
they might.
from Rogue One.
Yeah, so they had Boba Fett, and that was it. And they had a
Uh,
stormtrooper on the shelf behind him, and I'm like, you don't still have those, do you? And he's like, oh no, that's it. And so anyway, I didn't get that, and there was also the coasters you had sent me on a hunt to go get. Didn't find them anywhere. So
well,
they
those
keep
one I
changing
think
their
they're
stuff,
only
right?
out of stock. Yeah, there's a pretty good rotation
Okay.
for the merch, but I think those coasters are simply out of stock and they will restock because they were so popular that you know it would be a bad marketing decision not to have them back. I think so.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, the market is definitely a fun place to go, and anyone who's gonna go to visit Galaxy's Edge, there's just so much stuff, and it's hard to like. Again, my experience was basically I wanted to max it out, not knowing if I was going back. It sounds morbid, but like I'm in my 40s, and I don't know if I'm gonna have
Hmm.
the my kids are still very young. I don't think I'm gonna bring them back, but like maybe later I'm gonna go back. Hopefully there'll be an additional ride or something like that because I did Star
Yeah.
Tours about 3 times. I did Smuggler's Run maybe 5 6 times, and then I did Rise 5 times as well. So I really got it out of my
Wow.
system, and I remember when I walked out, I turned around and I looked at Galaxy's Edge like one last time, and I thought like, do I feel like I've experienced everything I could in here? And I think that I did. With exception to the restaurant, which is fine, but I did the cantina. I tried some of the
Uh-huh.
food. I tried the drinks. I tried the blue milk from the blue milk stand. I played some of the games with the Disney Play, but like it's difficult to really like run around with that unless you're committed to like you almost have to devote a day of your trip
Hmm.
to like say okay I'm gonna go and play all these games, and you don't want to be on your phone all that time. Some people they're
Yeah.
running around doing the bounties and stuff like that, but I just scanned a couple things, and at one point I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to be
Yeah.
preoccupied with this. I want to enjoy it, absorb everything. So I know there's just a lot of stuff. Even when I was at Disney itself, at one point in Magic Kingdom, we stopped and had like a hot dog on the corner of like these like whatever his name was, famous hot dogs, and we sat with the castle like right near us, and I told Jackson, I'm like, try to absorb this. Like, I know you don't realize
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
like,
Take a picture with your
yeah,
eyes. I mean,
just absorb the fact that you're next to the castle or not far from the castle, and you're just sitting down
yeah.
enjoying the view. And it's things like I've done that in
Because
New
you never
York.
know if or when you're gonna get a chance to go back.
Exactly.
So
And I've done that numerous times when I would be in New York. Like my wife and I got engaged and married in New York, and I remember
mm,
for me that the most I guess calming sensation, as weird as it was the chaos of Times Square. I could sit there and people watch. I like people watching, and I was sitting on the red
okay.
stairs, those
Yeah.
famous red stairs, and I think it was just a few hours before I got married. My hotel was right next to it. So before I went and showered and got
So you
changed,
were sitting at the Edison
uh, no, the red
or the W?
the red steps that are right in front. There's like the
No, but
giant
you
red
said that
steps.
your hotel was
Oh
next
no,
to those
I don't
steps.
remember what it was called.
Okay.
It wasn't one of those. No. But it was right off on the side of it. It was like maybe literally 3 minute walk from not even.
Okay.
So as soon as I would walk out of the hotel, I would see the red stairs, and so I would sit on those, and it was a calming sensation. I would just absorb, and that's what I did as much as I could there to try to remember it. And even now, I miss it
Hmm.
already. It's just a whole different world when you when you leave there and then get back to your your
Yeah.
life here. And Disney is an experience. Just like it's a bubble, right? You're in a different world. Everyone is happy. The people, the staff, and everything, and they just you can see it looks like people genuinely enjoy their job, right? And
Yeah. True.
yeah, so it's just fun. I
And,
guess there's a
and
good
they're
culture
doing
there.
everything in their power to make your trip, the most memorable experience you'll ever
Yeah,
get. So,
yeah.
cast members, they're good at what they do, and they deserve kudos for that.
Well,
I was fortunate enough to go 4 times to Disney, but the thing is, the last time I went was 1996.
jeez,
So the very first time I went was with the Chadwick Foundation. I was 6 years old, and they sent me and my parents for 5 days. And I felt sick after the first day, so I was 3 days at the hospital, and I was able to go out and go for the final day. So I
jeez.
only saw Magic Kingdom and Epcot Center the first time.
I think I
Anyways,
would say you
MGM.
probably hit the good parts of it at that time. Thinking of the timing, you definitely did the two that were pretty good, I guess. And
Yeah, but there were the only two parks at that time. Hollywood Studios was not open yet, and
it wasn't even
obviously
MGM
Animal
Studios
Kingdom
or
was not.
something at
Yeah,
the
it was
time.
MGM at that time,
Yeah,
but it was not open yet.
yeah.
So I went back a second time, like 3 years later, and then I guess I was 8 or 9 years old, and then MGM Studios had opened, so I got to see the Indiana Jones ride.
Yeah.
I was 9. It was at the height of the Ninja Turtles. You know, so I got to meet all the four turtles.
Nice.
I met with April O'Neil, and when I saw the Indiana Jones extravaganza at the end, a cast member took me all the way down, and I got to meet the stuntman who portrays Indy. I got a picture with him, and he even put the golden idol on my table.
Nice. Wow.
So I got to take a picture of that, and 3 years later, I got to go again. Guess I was 12, and I brought my grandma and my parents alongside. And the final time, I was 15, about to turn 16, and for some reason, I knew that I would not come back until a long, long time. I had that vibe, and I guess it was right because it was 96, so it's like 27 years now. So my gut feeling, my instinct served me well, and I kind of took the time, as you said, to let it in and to
Yeah.
to enjoy
Absorb
it,
and
live even more, yeah, absorb everything.
yeah.
And the final thing I saw was the Main Street electrical parade. They don't have it anymore on in Orlando. It's like a illuminated parade they have,
Yeah.
what they used to have, and uh, as I was watching it, there were tears rolling down my cheeks because I kind of felt that there was a part of my youth and my innocence going away with
Yeah.
the last wagon of the parade.
But you know
I was
the
becoming a young adult, and the magic was slowly going away, and
but you know what,
but
the magic was there for me, like, and I'd never been, and for me
yeah,
is well worth the wait, obviously, because I mean, had I gone when I was younger, I might have not have had the motivation and the urge to go like that I just recently did, and with that wait, with the COVID and all that stuff,
hmm
I was able to experience Rise of the Resistance, and not experience the craziness of when it first opened. Also,
yeah,
the timing of being a little bit of a slow period made let me just enjoy stuff, and in every park I was able to hit the big rides and all that stuff. So,
hmm
yeah, we can go back to on that and wrap this one up here for now and talk a bit more about it as maybe as we do some. I don't know if we're gonna be doing some video game streaming next week, but what do we have for tomorrow's review?
Tomorrow's review will be our third week in the Star Cruiser dedicated month. I got to purchase the Montrals um, on but thanks to a friend on the Star Cruiser, and I had them, and I didn't want to make a cosplay out of it, and I didn't know how to display them, so um, I had a friend build a stand for it, and an artist that I know painted a mannequin head to look like a Choguda. So I'm going to relate the whole journey and the whole creation process when we are going to upload the video tomorrow. So
Nice.
that's going to be fun. And well, for our next streaming, we know next week we have a 2 episode mid-season finale. I don't know if it's a finale, but
Yeah,
like
mid-season finale maybe. Yeah.
so I guess we'll have 2 episodes to cover for next week.
Okay, nice.
But the week after, is gonna be we're gonna resume our playthrough for Fallen Order. So hopefully we'll get the time to finish the game before the new one comes out. And
Well, we can always go as long as we feel like doing it, and leave it there
Mhm.
for anyone who wants to go and follow it. So I mean, we try to keep these episodes to about an hour, but I mean, game streaming could be as long as people want to go back to it and look at it. So I guess we'll revisit that. But yeah, let's start with the next week first, the 2 episodes, and
Mhm.
take it from there.
All right, so yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for tonight's show, guys. So thank you for sticking with us until the end. If you're listening to the show after it was recorded, well, I hope you enjoyed yourself as well. Please like and subscribe. And well, we'll see you guys next week. So enjoy your weekend. And until next time, may the force be with you always.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.